general. I hope you're well kept by God, because it's by God's grace that we live, actually, guys. Because sometimes things happen and we come to realize it is the mercies of God that keep us going. It is the grace of God that keeps us going. I'm saying this because in Kenya, there is a very, very prominent preacher who has passed on. And I tell you guys, every morning you wake up and you feel that you can be able to do your daily chores or your daily activities, it's a blessing. It is the mercies of God. And therefore, this day I want to just thank God that we are all fine, protected by God, and above all, Jamaica is fine, because I have watched different channels and I've seen that Jamaica was not hit a lot by the hurricane. Though in some parts of St. Elizabeth, I could see people saying there was the destruction of houses, but we thank God there is no loss of life. And I'm going to shoot a video to show you that God loves you, Jamaicans. God loves you so much. My next video will be on how much God loves Jamaica. Today, I wanted to talk about something else. Guys, first of all, before I start my video, I forgot to tell you, to the returning subscribers, to the new subscribers, we thank you so much. We don't take your time and your investment for granted. We really appreciate. And we always pray that God blesses you, God enlarges you, God protects you and shields you together with your family. We don't take it for granted, guys, that you watch us, you comment, you like our videos. Yeah, we really thank you so much. And I want to start by saying, I am astonished. I am perplexed. I don't know whether those are the best words to use, but Jamaica has really shocked me. I think the word shock is another statement, because I saw a strong people. I saw a united people. I saw a loving people during these hurricanes. You know, guys, I've been following each and everything that is happening in Jamaica. And I want to start by saying, Jamaicans will not sit there and allow you to pull their country down or to talk about their country in a negative way. There is this channel, I don't know whether it is called Skyline News or Sky News or something like that, Sky TV or something like that, Skyline TV. And the reporter was so negative about what happened in Jamaica, and people in the comment section came and told her off. They told her, you cannot come. Actually, the reporter had said that the hurricane had destroyed 3 airports. The airport at Montego Bay, the airport at Kingston, and the other airport. But the comment section, people came and told her, no, only one airport was destroyed by the hurricane. And it is so wrong to come and give wrong information, because Jamaica is a tourist economy country. Let me call it that. Most of the money they get from tourism. And when someone comes and gives fake news that are not right, then it is so wrong. And therefore the Jamaicans came and told her off. They told her, we don't want your fake news. You always report the worst of Jamaica. You show the worst places in Jamaica. You want people to think outside there, Jamaica is collapsing, Jamaica is dying, just like we always thought that Jamaica is full of war, Jamaica is full of dangers. You cannot walk along the streets of the states of Jamaica because you'll be killed. So these reporters, they bring a law about, or rather they report very negative news, which is so bad. And I love that Jamaicans can come together and tell somebody off. They tell her, we don't want your shenanigans. You cannot come and report negatively towards the island when you know very well that is not true. And this person actually was reporting that Jamaica has been directly hit by the hurricane. And people came and told her, no, Jamaica was not directly hit because the God of Jamaica is alive. He cannot allow them to go through a very, very harsh calamity because he protects them, he shields them. And they were very firm on what they were defending. And I loved that. Guys, I think my love for Jamaica is increasing daily. And I always tell you that you see as if it's a joke. I mean it, completely meaning it. Because it is very rare you can see people united to defend their country. People united to support one another. And I want to say thank you for all those who have come in hand to help the people that have been affected by the hurricane. Caller Smith, we saw you giving zinc to those whose houses have lost the roofs. Kino, every person in Jamaica wants to help, and even the Jamaicans in diaspora. I know you are great people, wonderful people, and I've always talked about you. I have not talked about you today. I keep on saying I love the way the people of Jamaica come together to support each other, come together to solve their problems, come together and unite and defend their land. I love that. I love that. It's not a joke, guys. I love it. And it was very astonishing to see Caller Smith visiting the people with his team that have been affected by the floods and trying to help them. And Kino also, I saw him somewhere. And it is great to see these people that they don't just sit there being comfortable in their own houses and forget about their neighbors, forget about their people. They are ready to assist and help one another. By the way, this video was not about all that. But I decided to start with that because sometimes Jamaica makes me to get astonished, makes me to get amazed how they can come together very quickly and try to sort out the problem that is affecting all of them. And I've seen it several times. They are ready to come together and work together and join hands together and actually build a strong Jamaica. And I saw someone in the comment section saying, Jamaica has had worse times and it has stood the times. My video the other day, I showed about how Jamaica has actually bounced back, is bouncing back. And today I wanted to talk about the response of disaster by the people of Jamaica and the people of Africa. I don't want to specifically talk about one country in Africa, but I want to compare what I saw in response to a disaster in Jamaica and I think the Caribbean, sort of them. And here in Africa, how we respond to disaster. I first want to thank some reporter who actually came to report about the hurricane even before it had happened. And he actually warned the people of Jamaica, the people of Caribbean islands, to move away from where the hurricanes had to go through or had to pass through. And they were warned so early. So people had equipped themselves with the food, people had equipped themselves with everything necessary to keep in the house so that they can be able to get food in case the hurricane takes long. And without coming outside because it was dangerous to go outside. And I really was astonished and amazed by the way the media comes to warn people. The media comes to alert people. The media comes to direct them where the hurricane is likely to go through or to pass through. It was very, very encouraging to us people in Africa. Because I want to tell you, it's not every day that you are warned of what will come around your way. Here in Africa, we are actually, most times, let me not actually say it is always, it is some of the times you are found by a disaster without the government taking precaution or the people taking precaution of what will happen. Like, let me give a case in scenario. There was this floods that really hit us hard. People had been warned to move away from the areas that can flood. But I think because of poverty And because of lack of finances, and because most people in Africa, they survive from hand to mouth. Our salaries are not that big. And therefore, when you are paid your salary, you pay rent for your house, you pay other bills, electricity, water, and so on. And also you feed your family and you educate your family. So most of the people live from hand to mouth. And therefore, even when the government tells you to move, where are you moving to? There is nowhere to go to. So you just sit there and tell God to take care of you, because now where do you go, guys? There is nowhere to go. So the poverty level has made people in Africa to be desperate. And actually, even when when people are given the warning of a disaster, they don't take precaution because it is outside our means. But I was perplexed at how Jamaica acted. They were very ready for the hurricane. They had prepared. And I always tell you, to have a country that can be able to feed their people, that can be able to keep the people in a given class where you cannot be consumed by disasters that come along the way, it is very, very important. And that is why we need strong economy in our lands, so that people can be supported where they cannot support themselves. And also people can be provided with the jobs so that they can work and be able to protect themselves from the disasters. So we found during the floods in Kenya, let me specifically talk about Kenya, many people lost their lives. Though these storms, we actually came to know that they will come very early, just like Jamaicans were informed of the hurricane prior to the storm coming. And the rate of preparedness in Jamaica was on a very, very high note. Because Jamaica, not very many people who died. Actually, very few people, if any. But here in Kenya, just floods caused a lot of death. And that is why sometimes I say, it's a high time we arise and stop some of the things that happen in Africa. You know, it's not that these things cannot be calmed down. It's because there is a lot of corruption. People given money to be able to help maybe the people affected by the floods, but that money will not reach the people who are affected. It might actually be given to people who have not been affected by the same floods because of the rate of corruption, the rate of selfishness, the rate of, what can I call it? I don't even know the right name to give it. So you find today, let me give a scenario still in Kenya, a scenario. Even up to today, the people that were affected by the floods are still in the camps. They are houseless, they are staying in the camps, they have no food to eat, they have no money to take their children to school. And I remember I came across one boy in school. And this boy, the parents had been affected by the floods a lot. Because after the floods, the government demolished all the houses that were along the rivers. And most of the people whose houses were demolished are actually the houses in the slums. And these slums have people who have no means of livelihood, who survive in a very, very hard way. They have to go to hustle on daily basis, and the little they are paid, it's actually for buying food. And therefore, their houses were demolished. This is a person who cannot be able to pay. Remember that in Kenya, if you are renting a house, you have to pay the deposit and you have to pay the rent for that month you're going to stay. And therefore, this is a person who cannot raise that money because the person has been found unaware by the floods. And therefore, most of them, even up to today, they either stay outside or live in the camps or in the churches without even food. So, let us come to Jamaica, where there was a hurricane, a bigger disaster than the floods we experienced in Kenya. And by the way, guys, one of the reasons during the demonstrations by the Gen Z generation in Kenya, there was these people who are being interviewed who are affected by the floods, and they were saying they were promised 10,000 shillings, Kenyan shillings, but they have not yet received it. You can see how Africa can be pathetic. Sometimes I usually wonder, why do we actually love ourselves so much that we cannot see our brothers and sisters suffering? And therefore, let me come to Jamaica during the Hurricane Beryl. The response of the government to the hurricane was very fast. I would say that Jamaicans in the house. Maybe we can blame, or Jamaicans can blame the government, but I tell you that they were very fast in acting compared to what we experience here in Africa. They were very fast, and actually by yesterday when I was shooting the video, I could see the tractors removing the debris around the beaches, and there was a lot of action even from other people, not just the government, even from other people. So many people had risen up and were ready to assist the people affected by the hurricane. That is a plus, because if the government cannot do work for us, then we have to combine hearts as citizens and help each other. And I saw this in a very, very strong way in Jamaica. People coming together to remove the debris, people coming together to assist those that have been affected by the floods. And I therefore salute the people of Jamaica. The response by the people was massive. The love shown by those affected by the floods was massive. I've just mentioned Cora Smith. I literally saw him giving zinc to those whose roofs were blown off by the hurricane. I also saw in the comment section of so many videos, people saying, we have to settle the people affected by the hurricane. We have to provide for them clothing. We have to provide for them food. We have actually to give them a shelter. And I was amazed at the response by the people who are locally in Jamaica and who are outside Jamaica. And I really said, wow, this is so great. People coming together and becoming their sisters and brothers keeper. It's not every time you see such love being shown amongst people. It is very unique. And that is why I always keep on telling you guys, Jamaica is a very, very special country. It's a very unique country. And not just Jamaica, even Haiti. I mean, not Haiti, even the other islands in the Caribbean. Because I saw St. Vincent. I saw Cora Smith literally going to St. Vincent to help. Do you see? Not just within their neighbors, they go outside to assist their brothers and sisters in the other islands. And I was saying, wow, I love this. And to make the matters worse, I saw people actually congratulating the government, their response to the disaster, and their help during this trying time, hard time to Jamaica and the surrounding islands, and they were very fast in acting. Now, there is one thing I saw people complaining after the hurricanes. I saw someone saying during the Gilbert hurricane, the electricity was restored very fast. And now, during this Beryl hurricane, electricity has taken several weeks to be reinstated. I don't know whether that is the correct word to use. And I really saw people saying in the comment section that they will go to the streets and demonstrate because of lack of electricity. I know you people, your response to this situation is because your government acts very fast to restore order during disaster. And that is why you are wondering, why have they taken that long to restore electricity and water after after the hurricanes. And people are talking about going to the streets so that they can demonstrate and block roads so that they can actually pressurize the government to restore electricity and water. And I said, wow. I didn't say wow because of the demonstrations or blocking of the roads. Because I could see the Jamaican Power, I think they're called Jamaican Power Company, because I saw so many people calling it JP. And most of the people are supporting JP, and others were saying they have delayed, while others were saying they have so many parishes to restore electricity after the hurricane. I want to give you a case in point here in Africa. Not even the hurricane. During those floods, most of the areas, because of the trees fell, by the way. This is the first time I saw in Kenya, rains coming, and they make so many trees fall, and there was a bit of destruction in terms of the roads. And to remove those trees from the road, actually where I pass every day as I go to CBD, Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya, there were some trees that had fallen. And it took 2 days to remove those trees. Just trees. And I was wondering, Jamaicans are complaining that electricity has not been restored for 3 weeks after the hurricanes? Kenya, let me not talk about it. But I tell you, if a transformer get destroyed and it has to be replaced, it can take a week to restore that here. And therefore, I said, wow, so electricity is restored very fast in Jamaica, where we see as if it's normal for us to go in a total darkness, not even a transformer. I remember there is a time there was some problem. I don't know what kind of a problem there was. I think it was a switch or something. I don't know whether they are called switches or what they are called, that had gotten burnt. And I remember we stayed a whole week without electricity. A whole week. And it's not something so large. It's not something so big. And therefore I was saying, oh my God, we are running a lot from Jamaica. We are running a lot from the Caribbeans. That it's not okay to lack electricity for a whole week just for a small problem that has happened on the post. But I saw Jamaicans actually very, very annoyed. There was this lady who was actually complaining a lot. Why is the electricity not restored? And yet the hurricane happened some 2-3 weeks ago. And I was saying, I love the agency that the government of Jamaica, together with Jamaican Power, I think the company is called that. Here in Kenya, we call it Kenya Power and Lightning. But I think in Jamaica, it's called JP, Jamaican Power. And I was saying, if at all those people are on the ground restoring electricity, this is a plus, because here you can stay for a week without anyone bothering, whether you have electricity or not, whether your fridges have got food or not. And I was saying, this is great. This is teaching us lessons. But I thank God, it's like we are coming to actually embrace change, embrace the fact that we should not just take things normally, even when they are not normal. And I have learned a lot in this land we call Jamaica. I tell you guys, I have learned a lot. That I have learned that there are people who restore order very, very fast, who keep things running very, very fast, who can act very, very fast to a disaster. And I hope, by God's grace, Africa will reach such a point where disaster is taken seriously and people protected from losing lives, and whatever happens after that disaster is restored as quickly as possible. Because that is what is the norm. It is what is the normal. But because of the corruption, because of the laxity in terms of people in their working places, because of the corruption in Kenya, most of the companies employ their relatives. And actually, if you have your relative is the boss and you are the subordinate, then you do not work much because, after all, even if I don't work, there is nothing that can happen to me. And I think that is what is destroying Africa. But I thank the Generation Z that has risen and said no to some of these things, because they are actually destroying us. They are bringing us down. They are pulling our economy down. They are pulling our people down. And I want to say, Africans are very learned. They are very bright people. People who can be very creative. But because of corruption, people who are not qualified are put in jobs and they mess up. And that is why, even when there is a disaster, there is no quick response. Because after all, my father, my uncle, my aunt, my relative is the boss. So I don't care whether I do the work or not. And that is really pulling the economy down. It is really pulling us down as a nation. And therefore, guys, I really congratulate the people of Jamaica, the authorities of Jamaica, every company that is doing what it takes to restore order as quickly as possible. We really don't take that for granted here in Africa, because it's not easy. So see you during the next video. God bless you, and kindly subscribe, comment, and like our video. Bye.